What is up, everybody? As you can tell, I am not in Georgia. We're actually down here in Tampa Bay, home of the Bucks, home of the Lightning. Is that the hockey team called? Anyways, that doesn't matter. More important real estate updates and information for you because I gotta let y'all know. It just seems like every time you turn around and you look at something on the news is really giving late information. The news is actually like a lagging indicator when it comes to what you should do on a lot of different topics. And especially, of course, this channel, we're talking about real estate, and the news is just so late. I think that when you start to hear things on the news talking about real estate prices crashing and everything's going to hit the fan, if you will. When you start to hear that information on the news, you got to think to yourself, A, is this something that I should be listening to? And B, how accurate is that information for me? Because what I'm going to tell you is it's probably going to be a little bit shocking to you. Now, I know right now everybody's saying, don't buy real estate. Don't buy real estate. The housing market is going to crash. There's so many different things going on right now that people are telling you not to do it. And ultimately, this is not financial advice. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to give you information on the market and tell you what's happening for somebody that's got boots on the ground. So one thing that I can tell you when it comes to real estate right now is while everybody's talking about don't buy, while everybody's talking about the interest rates are high, there are buyers right now who are getting incredible deals on real estate. Deals that you haven't been able to get over the last 2 or even 3 years, depending on where you've been located. And that's because those people, either they have no choice but to buy right now since there's lower competition, or they've been waiting for so long to be able to purchase a home that they're just like, I'm going to go ahead and get it right now. And what they're finding out is they're actually getting incredible deals on the real estate. Let me just give you an example. So I got a client looking for a starter home. We've been looking for quite some time. Obviously, inventory for starter homes has been like down in the gutter because obviously the cheaper homes or the lower price homes always sell the fastest, and there really are never enough of them to satisfy what's on the market. But let me tell you about my first time home buyer. So got a first time home buyer. We're looking for houses for quite some time. Hey, we finally find a house that she wants. Now, keep in mind, her budget is $200K. So obviously, if you're looking at the median home price in Atlanta, is about 340, 349, 350 range. So 200K is definitely on the starter end, fixer upper end, depending on where you're looking. But we got 200K. So the whole time I'm telling her, I'm like, listen, don't look for houses that are under 200,000. I said, with what we have going on in the housing market right now, you actually should be looking at houses probably 10% more than you can afford. And she's like, what? Like, we're not going to get anything under contract if it's, 10% more than we can afford. Like, that's just, obviously that's just too much for a seller to take. But what I'm telling her is, hey, the sellers are starting to panic. If you've been watching our previous videos, I've been telling you exactly why. But I'm like, hey, the sellers are starting to panic. And if you need to get that house, I said, just look 20,000 up, 20,000 up, or 10% up. So we get out there and we find some properties, and she makes a list. And I always make our clients make a list. Give me your top 3 homes or 4 homes or whatever. So we make offers on all 3 homes. Now, her third choice actually shot down the offer immediately. I think that house was like 209. I ended up running the comps and saying, hey, you know what? That house is really worth like 187. So we end up making the offer at 187. I'm asking for closing costs. Like, I'm trying to get everything done for my clients. Like, we ask for everything because you don't know if you don't ask. So I'm asking for 3% closing costs. Ends up breaking down to about $6,000. Um, the other agent, they shoot it down immediately. They're like, no, we turned down offers better than this. And I'm like, okay, well, that's what we're offering. We're going to stay there. We're not going to revise our offer. What we gave you is what we're giving you. Take it or leave it. Because at the end of the day, it's your house. You're spending a couple $100,000. So why not get the best deal? Why not offer something? Don't be afraid for the sellers to say no to you. So the sellers ultimately end up saying, no, they're not going to go for it. That's not something that they're going to do. So cool. They asked me, did I want to revise the offer? I told them, no, we're not going to revise anything. We're going to stay right where we're at. We're going to stay at the offer that we're at right now. And so once that offer fell through, we're like, go ahead, like take the offer. If you have other offers that you're interested in, go ahead, take them. Like call them back, take those offers, do what you do, go on the contract, get the closing, etc. So we lost out on that one. Keep in mind that was her third overall choice. That was her third choice. Second choice, I think that home was listed right at 200. Now my client had enough, she pre-qualified for 200. She had enough to go ahead and get that one right then and there. But the only thing is hey, I'm a deal maker, not a deal breaker. So I'm like, hey, I ran the comps, I look at the comps, and I'm like, you know what? That house is also worth about 187, 188-ish range. You know what I mean? So we make the offer, 187 and some change, and somebody else beats us out in the offer. Cool, no problem. Because at the end of the day, that was her second choice. So, boom. Now, on to the first choice. The first choice, beautiful home. She really loves it. Obviously, it's her first choice. But the issue with that home is it's $15,000 more than she's qualified for. $15,000 more than she's qualified for. So she's already not optimistic. She's like, look, I already lost out on the other homes. We're just going to keep looking at other homes. I'm like, all right, you know what? We're still going to send it. We send it over. Call the agent. I say, hey, we just sent you an offer. And it's low. It's lower than the sales price. But my client's going to see this contract through. Gave them the whole spiel. We wrote them a letter when we submitted the offer. Let them know, hey, my client is single mother. I'm not going to give out too much information. I don't want y'all going to track down my buyer talking about I made a video about her. But we write a letter to let them know, hey, this is the dream home that they want. And immediately they turned down. Well, they didn't instead of turn down the offer, they just had another offer that they were in negotiations with. And, it just didn't pan out. Okay, cool. We lose out on all three, right? So at that point, feeling pretty bad because I'm like, look, man, did I twist the people's arm too hard and end up losing out on a deal for my client? So patience is everything. We continue to be patient. And I called the agent, let him know, like, hey, what happened with the offer? Was there something we could have did to make it more competitive, et cetera, et cetera? And then long story short, the agent calls me back a couple of days ago, right when we're getting ready to submit offers for more properties. They're like, hey, is your client still, looking for a property? And I'm like, yeah, unfortunately, they are still looking for a property. So I'm like, but, 200,000, that's what we got. I said, the best thing that I could possibly do is look at, boosting up those closing costs or dropping them down because we were asking for, a couple thousand in closing costs. So I'm like, hey, the best thing we can do is just drop those closing costs all together to really make it attractive to your seller, especially since they're coming down $15,000 or so. And I think they've already done a couple of price cuts up to that point already. So end up going under contract. $15,000 less than list price. Original list price, I think, is probably $30,000 off. And this is why I'm trying to tell you that if you're looking to buy a home, like, don't listen to everything that you hear on the news. Yes, now is an expensive time to buy a home. Yes, interest rates were cheaper, probably could go cheaper in the future. It's anyone's guess when or how much they actually go down. But you're going to miss out on a huge opportunity to go ahead and purchase property if you skip over right now. Because while everybody else is scared and while everybody else is to the point to where they're just listening to the news. Oh, no, 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 I'm not going to buy a house right now. Okay, fine. Don't. Do what's best for you, but just also understand that, you can get deals right now, because anytime that you get to a situation to where people are scared or afraid to do something, that's your time to start investigating whether it makes sense for you to do it. Because, there are fewer buyers. Okay, we had so many buyers over the last couple of years, combined with investors that are now going from the market, that it just made it extremely difficult to really get anything under contract, and that's really at a lot of different prices. You got more inventory now, less buyers, people are scared, people are saying that, it's a terrible time to buy a home. Well, it may be a terrible time to buy a home depending on what kind of home you're buying, but it is also a very, very opportune time to be able to catch a deal. And so if you want to catch a deal, go ahead and do it now. And if you also want to learn more about what's going on in the real estate market, true information from somebody that's got their boots on the ground, I want you to check out this video right here, because this video is going to give you some background on the sales numbers that we have so far from this year compared to last year, and it's going to blow your mind. So appreciate you watching. MJ, A Trusted Realtor. Peace. I'm out.